Welcome on today's episode of the Showdem Show, and as usual, I'm about to bring you up to speed to what you must have missed. Of course, I know you missed everything, that's why I'm here to tell you. Labour Party presidential aspirant went to the Dunamis, I think it's Praise Night or something like that. And that has caused a lot of uproar on Nigeria Twitter community, Some have gone to criticize Peter Obi that he's trying to, carve a religious niche for himself because of the APC Muslim ticket and all of that story. But you only see Nigerian politicians, prostituting themselves around churches when it's election period. You never see any picture of them when it's not election period. It's like they only remember God when it's election period. It reminds me of back then in uni where, when it's exam period, that's when everybody goes to chapel to pray. You see Muslims show up in church to pray for exam and still go to the mosque because now you need something. Everybody's showing up at a religious house. And I would just, it's really strange. And that has really, caused a lot of conversation. People are talking about how it's very important to separate politics from religion. And I agree because, nobody sees them when they go to their shrines. No one sees that. Those who do traditional worship must feel left out in the whole mix, the whole shenanigan. What really struck me in that whole visit to the church is not that he appeared in church or the over 30,000 people that were screaming Obi. That gave me chills. That gave me like some goosebumps. Like, yes! That video of the house burning, there's a church burning and there are people downstairs praying and calling, the fire of the Holy Ghost on the house instead of pouring water. That's how it seemed to me. But to see that Nigerian politicians were making prophetic declaration on Nigeria, like, just get up and go and do the right thing. Save us the stress of prophesying, but just get up and go home and do the right thing. It just didn't make sense to me. It's like a Nigerian parent beating you and asking you not to cry. It just doesn't add up. The reason why you beat people, you want them to feel pain and cry, isn't it? So why are you prophesying over the country that you are, contributing? You are doing everything possible to see that it does not work. Another news that is hard to ignore really is the Minister of Information informing the Nigerian public that the country is safe and we should go about their normal duty. Like, that is so ironic if you ask me. Like, the Minister of Information is supposed to be informing people of giving us the real picture of what's happening in the country. I just find it very awkward that the Minister of Information is putting a lot of effort at misinforming the public. How can Minister of Information be putting out wrong information? The country is safe. Go about your duty. You can't really put Nigeria and safe in the same sentence. Our country is far from safe. Literally, there's no part of the country that is safe. From the east to the west, everywhere, schools are shutting down because the country is clearly not safe. How are you saying the country is safe whereas you are shutting down schools? It does not even make any sense. If people's name really go with them, then joke's on you if you choose to take somebody whose name starts with a lie seriously. That's completely on you. But speaking about jokes, really, I think the Liberians are making a joke of us. Like, the Liberia entire country, which actually I'm offended by that whole gesture of inviting the president of Nigeria to come give a lecture on security in their country. I am offended by that. I think it's an insult to our president. And one thing that we can all agree, that only Nigerians have the right to insult Nigeria. No other country have a right to insult us. Because what Liberia has done is an insult to me and every other Nigerian. How are you inviting the president of perhaps the most insecure country in Africa to come and give lectures on security? It's like every other secured region in Africa came together and decided, you know what? Let's make a joke of Nigeria. Let's call the Nigerian president and give us lecture on security. Like, that's like a homeless man telling you, how to, do interior decoration does not even make any sense. And that's really unacceptable, to be honest. We shouldn't let this go. We should react. Maybe we should invite the president of Liberia to come and give us a speech on what are we better than? What do we have better than any country? As you already know, ASU have been on strike, and they stay constantly renewing this strike. It's like, Nigerian students are placed on monthly home subscription. So like when you think your subscription is due for this month, they renew it for you. You're going to stay home. And it's really embarrassing when you think about it, in my lifetime, I've seen electricity and ASU being like a recurring problem. New administration, same problem. ASU constantly will go on strike. Literally every year there's an ASU strike. And our politicians still have not found a solution to this, which is pretty much just pay them what you owe them. It's not that deep. It's a no-brainer. It's not rocket science. Pay them what you owe them, because I don't see you owing yourselves in House of Assembly, House of Rep, or down to the councillor next door. I don't see you owing these people. But you constantly think that the people who you can delay their payments, you can owe them, are people who have PhDs, who earned, the only people, as a matter of fact, perhaps the only set of civil servants that earn their spots. They put in work to earn the certificate to get the job. The rest of you just get there by crook or whatever means possible. But these people, these noble people, as a matter of fact, we've all agreed that the reward of our teachers, is in heaven. We agree. But at least pay them what you owe them. Let's just do that. And it's really sad when you think about the economic effect that has, on the host communities of these universities, who can no longer sell to students, who rely on students to, feed, to earn, the accommodations. Then we bring it further down to students who cannot even get their transcripts to further their education, to take up scholarship opportunities, to lecturers who cannot afford to feed their families. The ripple effect of this thing, comes all the way down, to the last person in the community. But our politicians are very, very uninvolved, undisturbed, unbothered, can't be bothered, literally. Like, that's what government tell you, I can't be bothered. Like, go on strike, whatever. I see that's not enough. They tell Nigerian students, like, listen, while you're all at home, guess who just finished from UK? Not you, or your best friend, my son. That's what they do. Like, the governor of that state, son is finished with, a distinction in a school in the US. The senator from that state, from a school in the UK. They don't care. And as though that's not bad enough, they have no problem sharing, their happiness, their happy moments with us on social media, showing us, come and see what the Lord has not done for you. I think our politicians, they have so much guts, and both of them to not fix our problems, but then take themselves out of the problem such that it does not affect them and they don't give two shits, how their actions affect the common man. It's both of them. What's been an interesting turn-up event for me will be those people who have criticized Nigerian students for not joining the Nigerian lecturers' protest, as though it was not these same students that protested in October 2020, and were shocked, as though they haven't protested enough, and in fact, it's not just that they have protested, they have lost their lives in the course of this struggle, that even the younger generation are already protesting. Like, if you saw the news, young kids under 5, in primary school, coming out to protest about bad governance. Like, if only they know. If only really they know. Because, I remember I watched my parents protest in '93, after the elections, and I protested I was actively protesting in October 2020, and then these young people are already protesting. Like just if they know, they will save their energy and wait, because this protest, you still come and do it. In this country, you cannot escape it, unless perhaps, you obey the voice of the people, and do the right thing, vote in the right candidate. But if you don't, then you're going to come and 10 years from now, you will still come and do this protest. Because Nigerian problem does not ever end, really. It's like a full-blown circle. It's a boomerang, really. It's like Nigeria has an Instagram account where it does boomerang on all of its problems. And every week, it's a brand new problem of the same problem.